professional recorder for me because I don't have a computer and I can't record things from my phone. Thank you for changing that, Zoom. I appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and get started with recording, and we're going to get started, you guys. We have Nicole here, and I'm so stinking excited because I know that there are so many people who need to hear exactly what she has to say. You guys, her story will blow you away, okay? If you came here tonight because you have ever said, I'm too busy, or you've ever had somebody say that they're too busy, or you've ever had something tragic and horrible literally try to ruin everything you've ever had good going for you, then you're in the exact right spot. And if you've never had either of those happen, the reason you're here is so that you know how to talk to somebody who has, because Nicole has done both of those. And you guys, her story is so amazing. So Nicole, thank you so much for being here. You can unmute yourself, I think. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I cannot wait for everyone to hear more from you and just honestly get to spend time talking to you, because you're just one of the most real people in this business that I've ever met, and I love it. So go ahead and start by telling us your story.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. So as you guys, I'm going to tell you all about me, but as you guys like hear me talk, like that is my biggest thing, is trying to be real. And as I start to tell my story, I just want everyone to know here, like, you are you for a reason, and you have to sell that on social media. You have to be you. Don't get caught up in I have to look like, I always just think, because Cassie and Nay are my best friends, like I have to look like Cassie and Nay and Emily were saying, like I have to fit that mold, and you don't. Just be you, because people will love it. So I started 4 years ago. I'm now a presidential diamond. When I first started, I was in dental hygiene school. And you know what, hold on. I got to get out of these notifications because I have the attention span of an ant. Okay, here we are. I wanted $200 to $300 a month for gas money because I was commuting to hygiene school. And that was honestly my goal. I'm big on, for the first 2 years of my business, I felt like I had to, that's why I said this in the beginning, I felt like I had to fit that broke college student mold. I felt like everyone had to be a broke college student if you wanted to be successful. And for the first 2 years, I acted like I was that broke college student. And then I finally realized that there were people just like me. And that's why I stress you being you, because I wasn't a broke college student. I had a lot of money. I've always been like a workaholic, and let's be real, I'm a red. I love money. I had money and I wanted more of it. So whatever your story is, if you struggled before this, embrace that. But if you didn't, don't feel like you have to act like you were struggling, because that's what I did. And I just realized eventually, like, there's people just like me out there that weren't struggling that really need this. So embrace your story and really just run with it, because you are you, and there's people just like you out there. So I was in hygiene school. I just wanted some extra gas money. A girl from my town was doing this. She was a year younger than me. She was an emerald, and I just remember seeing her always post about, I don't know where this hair tie just came from, seeing her always post about paying for her rent with the money she makes from this business, and then everything else she made at the gym was extra. And I was like, lit, I could do that. That would be cool. I live with my parents, so like if I can make some extra money and move out, cool. So then, I won't give you too many details. So then I graduated hygiene school finally. And with it being in hygiene school, they told us if we wanted to pass, we literally couldn't have a job. So I was in the most demanding dental hygiene school in Connecticut. It's like nearly impossible to get into. And when I got into it, I was like, all right, I got to give this my all. And they were like, well, if you want to pass, you can't have a job. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work for me. So I was going to hygiene school, so demanding that they told me I couldn't have a job, and I was working on the weekends at a bank. So I was already doing too much, and then I picked up this job. So whatever, fast forward, I graduated hygiene school, and then I went diamond like right after graduating hygiene school. And we bought our first house, and life was great. I failed my dental hygiene boards. And if you guys don't know anything about dental hygiene, it takes, we have 3 dental hygiene boards. One is like 9 hours long, and the other 2, one's a clinical and one's another written. And I failed it. So you have to wait a month to get your results. And then you have to wait, if you fail, you have to wait 3 months to retest. And then you have to wait another month to get those results. So I graduated hygiene school. I failed my boards. I had to wait like 4 months and I failed my boards again. So we were talking about 8 months that I was out of school and I was not practicing dental hygiene and I was working at a bank. And I didn't hate working at a bank, to be honest, but I had so many skills to do something more. And I was like, you know what? This is my time to shine in this business. Like this bank job isn't cutting it for me. And that's when I really took off. Then I passed my boards, and it's so crazy because I failed my boards twice, but the school that I went to called me back to teach. So I was working full-time dental hygiene. I was working 40 hours dental hygiene, and I was teaching 15 hours a week. And, you know, that's a job that I'm gloved up in people's mouths. Like, that's not a job where I can kind of sneak away and be on my phone. Like, I had patients all the time. And in that time when I was working full-time hygiene and I was teaching, I was still in top 150 income earners as a triple diamond. So, you know, I don't have kids, so I like can't talk on the kids thing, but like everyone is busy. I don't even know when I slept, but like I just made it work. And that kind of brings me to another thing. Like, I always laugh when I say this. If you guys weren't crazy like me, you're probably going to think I'm crazy right now, but whatever. In college, I used to literally wake up at like 6:30, leave my house at 7, go to class all day long, go to clinicals all night long. We dismissed our patients at like 9:30 at night. We were lucky if we got out at 10, and then I would fly all the way home. I'd take a shower, and I was at the bar by 11. And I literally, like, I was wild. Like, I was at the bar like Monday through Sunday. And I would literally go to school all day. I'd go to clinical all night, and then I'd go to the bar all night. I'd go home and I'd sleep 3 to 4 hours, and I'd wake up and I'd do it all again. And then I would work on the weekends. So why are we willing to sacrifice time and all this stuff for that, but not for our dreams and for this business? Like, it's all, I just think back and I'm like, if I could do that back then, like I could do that now for this. And that's kind of what pushed me through this. Also, being with local people. I mean, we have a powerhouse of people out of Connecticut. We have Cassie, Nay, Lindsay, Sasha was living in Connecticut. I mean, there's just tons and tons of people in Connecticut. Get with like-minded people, even if they're not on your team. Just being surrounded by other people that do this business will elevate you like tremendously. Cassie is 4 years younger than me, I think. And when she went double diamond, I was like, whoa, like I went to school and I worked so hard for this degree and she's making more money than me. It was like crazy. And that's when it really pushed me to do more with this. I got muted. We sold our Connecticut house and we moved to South Carolina, and now I don't practice dental hygiene. I retired my husband from corporate America and we work full-time from home, which brings me into my next thing. So we found out my dad was sick and he had stage 4 lung cancer. So it was just something that really was like, I don't know, it was just so much of a shock. So literally a year to the day that my dad passed away, a year to the day, he was literally doing a keg stand at Emily Wersing's house at a party. So like we would have never known, like I'm not kidding, we would have never known he was sick. You would have no idea. We were like playing beer pong and like chest bumping each other, and he had like lung cancer and it was just crazy. So that's how like healthy you thought my dad was. So when it hit really hard. So when he got diagnosed, we were like, oh my gosh, like they literally gave him like 6 months to live. And we were like, wow, okay. So I can firmly tell you, like wholeheartedly tell you that because of this business, I spent more time with my dad, even though he lived in Connecticut and I lived in South Carolina. I spent more time with him than I would have been able to spend with him if I lived in Connecticut, in the same town as him. We lived in a town that was like this big. If I still lived in the same town as him and was working my dental hygiene job and teaching, I literally spent more time with him living 14 hours away in a car than I would have if I still lived in the same town. And that's because of this business. That's because of the freedom that we have. And not only did we like not have to worry financially where all of our bills were paid in South Carolina, but we rented a condo in Connecticut and we were there for like months and, you know, paid bills there, but also had everything covered here. And it's really, really incredible what this business not only financially has done for us, but just as a person, and being able to, you know, spend time with my dad, and being able to just own the Mira Denning always says, the person you become when you own your time is better than any dollar amount that you could ever have. Like the person, the positivity, and just like when you own your own time and you don't have to, I don't know, I had like the worst boss in the world. So like when you don't have to, I don't know, I just think back from getting home from my dental hygiene job, and I'm like, that mother, and like it literally takes a toll on your home life because you're so aggravated. I remember my mom is a nurse, my mom's an RN. My dad used to say to her, the amount of time that you spend talking about work outside of work, if you divided that all up, you probably make 5 cents an hour. It's so true, because like she would come home and just be like complaining and be on the phone with Jody, and she's like, Jody, you'll never believe blah blah. My dad's like, you probably make 5 cents an hour. And that's how I was too. I was always complaining, and like it's just the quality of life you have when you're your own boss is just the best thing ever. So I don't know, I keep talking, but lots of things, paying off debt, getting new cars, which was incredible. My car actually got totaled at a wrap party once, so that was an eventful party. And I was able to get a new car just like without even thinking about it. I think it was like a double at that time. So it's just incredible. I could keep talking, so you should probably ask me something.
Okay. Well, okay. So the main reason I wanted to get on here with you is because, so this is what happened. So what had happened was I had somebody complain to me about how they couldn't do this business because they didn't have time. And I'm like, Nicole didn't complain about it, and she was working full time and teaching, and she was like a triple and top 150. And then the next day I had somebody tell me that they had to stop the business because their mom was sick with cancer, and she couldn't do this business because she had to go get another job so that she could pay for her mom's bills and take care of her. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to get Nicole on this recording. I'm going to record her story, and then I'm going to send it to both of them, and they're going to not have any more excuses because I just took them all away. But I just love how you didn't make excuses, and it's a lot because you're red, because I'm also really red. So I understand. But I think that people need to hear more often that not everybody who went top 150 or was a triple was already a retired stay-at-home mom whose husbands were doing XYZ and also bringing in like $7,000 or whatever craziness, you know? So it's like, I just think that was really important. So when you were doing all of that, like you said, you were gloved, which I just love that you say that. I just think it's really funny. And I understand it's like an actual term, but it just kind of makes me chuckle. When you were working all of those hours, how did you run this business? What were the things that you were doing? Your tasks? Like, so what I want to do is I want to talk about what you did when you were working all those hours, and then I want to talk about what you did, like what you're doing now, like what's different now. So tell me, like, what were you doing then when you had all of this crazy schedule? How were you managing to get your tasks in, and what were your tasks that you were doing?
So I'm all about income producing activities. Like it's very easy to get caught in the scroll. It's very easy to think because you spent 2 hours on Facebook that you put 2 hours into your business when you know you didn't. Especially now if you're branching into TikTok, it's very easy to get caught in TikTok. And I encourage people, if you are not like 100% like getting on TikTok for business and like super disciplined, don't even branch into it yet, because you'll catch yourself messing up. So what I did when I was working, I always tell people, if you can be successful at this if you put 1 hour of quality work into it a day. Of course, if you want to be like triple, you got to do way more than that. But at least one quality hour of work a day. And that doesn't mean you have to sit at a desk for 1 hour. This is what I did. I woke up 15 minutes before I had to, and I put in a powerful amount of 15 minutes. Like there was no distractions. I worked, I messaged, I followed, I did as much as I possibly could in 15 minutes. And then, sorry, my dog walked by and she's so cute, I smiled. And then on my lunch break, so I was supposed to have an hour lunch break at dental hygiene. That always turned into a half hour. But This is super important. I loved the girls that I worked with. So in no way, shape, or form am I telling you guys to like shut out all your friends and like don't talk and like whatever. So our 30-minute lunch breaks consisted of like, how are the kids, like talking about everything. But I was like, all right, Nicole, you got to make sacrifices and you got to figure this out. So my 30-minute lunch break, I spent 15 minutes with them because I'm not trying to like exclude myself. And then I spent 15 minutes sitting in my hygiene chair, putting in 15 minutes of work, just like I did when I woke up. And this is the most powerful one. Then when you get out of work and you get in your car and you're like, all right, I can't wait to get home. Get me out of here. I hate this place. Sit in your car for 15 minutes and put in 15 more minutes of work. And you've just put 45 minutes in. Then when you get home, whenever is best for you, like right when you get home, put in 15 minutes, or right before bed, put in 15 minutes. Of course, if you want more out of this, then you need to do more than this, but this is bare minimum. And that's how you can fit in an hour of quality work in your crazy busy schedule. And did that not just like blow your mind at the simplicity? Literally 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes of your lunch break, 15 minutes in your car before you go home, and 15 minutes at night. And I'm talking quality work, not scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So that's when I kind of fit everything in. Now, granted, when I got home, I put in way more than 15 minutes. Just me personal, but that's what I did. 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I would do like increments when I got home. My everyday non-negotiables are, as you guys know, self-development, but it's really easy to think you're doing self-development. I think for the first like 3 years, I thought I was doing self-development, meaning I was like working on my phone and playing a YouTube video in the background. And then I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, yeah. Or I'd play Audible and I'd be like, you are a badass at making money. I've literally listened to that like 20 times, but like I didn't listen to it. It was just like playing in the background. And lately I've realized that that is exactly what was happening. So Britt Grimes, she's another presidential, her and I kind of got together, and I really struggle with reading. I have no idea how I have a science degree and how I passed college, but whatever. I really struggle with reading. Maybe that's why I failed my boards twice. So I get audiobooks, and I actually now, because I'm like disciplined with self-development and I actually want to do it and not just play it in the background, I buy the hard copy and I buy the Audible. And then I follow the book along with the Audible, and it has been a game changer. Like me and Britt talked the other day, and she was like, I've learned more in the last 3 days than I have in the last 3 years. And it's so crazy because I've listened to the same book like 100 times and never retained any of it. You could be like, tell me something about You Are a Badass at Making Money. 3 months ago, I would have been like, Jen Sincero wrote it. That's about all I could tell you. And I listened to it like 20 times. But now, like, I can tell you more about the book because I'm actually doing it. So I'm fitting, for me, I'm like a workaholic. So like for me, I can't like not look at my phone for an hour, but I will sit down and I'll do 1 chapter a day. And I do it in the morning because we all know life gets busy. Even I don't have kids and life still gets crazy, and I like can't even sometimes find time in the day. So I make sure I do it first thing in the morning and I just get it done and out of the way. Self-development and quality self-development. I try to post on my page once a day. I don't know what I've been doing the last few days, but I've been really busy. But I haven't posted in the last couple of days, but I try every single day on my page, if not every other. But my story is where it's at. I post constantly on my Instagram story, constantly. So we all know that Instagram and Facebook created the most wonderful algorithm ever. And I say that in joking terms because it sucks, but it is what it is and we all have to work with it. However, stories are still in chronological order. Stories are not based on the algorithm. So back in the day, you know, if people posted 1 minute after each other, that's how everyone saw it. But now my hair is a hot mess. But now with the algorithm, like some people are here, some people are there, some people don't even get seen. But that stories bar, that's all in chronological order. So I try to post on my story like every hour or every 2 hours. And it doesn't always have to be something about the business. But hear me out. Like if you put a bomb ass coffee post up in the morning, but someone's at work and you don't post again until like 10 o'clock at night, you're literally getting pushed back after every single person that posts a story. And that person who wants the coffee might not see it because they were at work and you didn't post again until 10 o'clock at night. So even if you're out and you're busy and whatever, like if I'm shopping or something and I'm like, oh, I haven't posted in like 2 hours, I'll take a picture of a cute shirt and be like, this is cute. Or like, I love purple pens, like just anything, like literally anything. I'll scroll back and find an old video of my Frenchie because he's the most comical thing in the world, and like put him on my story just to get me bumped up to the front. And that first of all, you'll notice your story views going up dramatically, but you'll notice a lot of people asking about the products more because you're getting in their face more often. Think about it. You never like go to your Instagram and like scroll to the side to look at a story. Like you just go to the first one and you watch a few and then you're like, okay, I'm done with this. If you're always in the front, you're always going to be seen. So throw something up on your story. Try to do every hour to 2 hours. I do not message for distributors at this point. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. When I went double to triple in 2 months and I was messaging for distributors in those 2 months. So I in no way, shape or form think there's anything wrong with it. At this point, people just come to me, but I do message for customers. I feel like that's like my core. Oh, and just again, being yourself, like putting stuff on your story that isn't all about it works and just like being weird, like will literally travel so far with people. I voice text, we'll probably get into all of this, but like I voice text everything. And like, if I mess up or stumble on my words, like I don't erase it. I literally will laugh at myself. And I'm like, I'll genuinely laugh at myself and I'll go, sorry, I'm shot. And then I'll just keep talking. And like, people love it. People want to know that you're a real person. And like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just super weird. And if I stumble over my words or mistake something, just run with it. It makes people realize that you don't have to be perfect to do this business.
I love that. I'm totally the same. I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, exclamation mark. Okay, here's the deal. This is a voice memo. I delete it, but then that would be fake. And I hate fake. Never mind, I'm not saying that. I hate fake people. So I'm just like, here you go.
Yep.
It's fine. Okay, so I love that. Okay, so what I didn't hear you say though, and I just am curious about is interaction. Do you do a lot of interaction? Because I have my personal beliefs on interaction, and it's that it's a waste of time because you could be messaging instead. But again, really, really red.
So I'm actually not the best at interacting, but there's ways around it. First of all, sending a message is interacting. I do think it's important if you're not getting a ton of traction on your page. Like I've had people, I don't even know what's going on with my Instagram, but people are following me like crazy lately and like commenting on everything. And like, that's enough interaction for me. But if you feel like your Instagram or your Facebook's kind of dead, then do a little bit more, just commenting on people's pictures and stuff like that. But sending a message is technically interacting. And if you'll notice when you start putting on your story more, you're going to notice more action on your page. It's inevitable. That's going to happen, which is going to make all of this a lot easier. But put stuff on your story that people have to interact with, like polls or stuff like that. That's a really simple way of interacting without using your time much. And do funny stuff. Like I need to get back into this, but I used to do would you rather games on my page every single day. It got a little much. I kind of ran out of things, but I was super weird about it. And I was like, would you rather never know the difference between a baby and a muffin or have a sex change every time you sneeze? And people would swipe up and be like, what is wrong with your brain? And I'm like, I don't know, but you have to pick one. So like, which one is it? And like, it's a simple way of like interacting because people weren't even voting. They were all like swiping up and they were like, I can't even pick an option. And I'm like, imagine walking up to a baby thinking it's a blueberry muffin. And like, people just like love it. And so you can do simple things like that. Lil, you good? I don't know, just asking questions and just random things on your story. And that could bring a lot of interaction into your page without you actually having to put time into it. But I'm all about massive action gets massive results. So the more, messaging and getting yourself out there that you're doing, the more you're going to sign. So I'm kind of like with you on that one.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. I think that I always tell people the thing is that when you go and like on somebody's post or comment on somebody's post, they're not going to remember that. when you go to message them to be a customer or distributor. But when you send them a message, even if they've ignored it, they can't say, oh, you've never tried to talk to me, because it's literally right there in their face. So I totally agree on that. I know so many people have that as like one of their 6 list. And so I really felt like I had to mention that.
If
Okay, so
you're like more on Facebook, something that kind of blew my mind, that again, I'm not big on interaction, but something that I do on Facebook, because I'm trying to branch into Facebook more, literally simply saying happy birthday to every person who has a birthday that day is like, that's the easiest way. It will take you a minute in the morning, and you just can literally copy and paste happy birthday, have a great day, copy and paste it and send it to every single birthday for the day. There's usually like 5 birthdays for one day. And that's huge. Like, that's not really, sometimes I think interaction is super authentic, and sometimes I think it's super fake, like commenting like, you know, I love your shirt, like on 6 pictures, because you don't really know what else to say. But saying happy birthday is like the most simple, like authentic way to interact with people. That's on Facebook. Of course, Instagram doesn't have that, but I love that. I heard that from someone else, and I that's something I do every day.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so you're mostly on Instagram. So you, another reason why I wanted to do this is because I'm really new to Instagram still. I didn't do it for a very long time. And I actually saw this question already pop up in the chat, was public or private? You mentioned stories, but can you also talk about like how you're finding new people? Because I assume you also add new people to your network every day. Can you talk about how you're finding people on Instagram specifically, but Facebook too, because you're branching out, so you might as well talk about it, right?
So Instagram's my jam. I literally don't know anything about Facebook. I'm learning. But so this is always such a hard question for me. I was private until I hit like 8,000 followers. I think it's easier if you're growing your Instagram and growing your following. I think it's easier if you're private, because you create that sense of like mystery, like who is this person and why are they following me? Whereas if you're public and they just go to your page, you're like, oh, they sell that coffee and I don't need it. There's too many people on my page already. But you could be that person that they relate to way more than the other person on their timeline selling coffee, because, you know, you're a mom or you like this or whatever. You might relate to that person more. But if you're public, they might just discredit you right away. So until you're about like, honestly, like 7,000, 8,000 followers, I actually recommend being private. And so I like mass follow people every single day. So Instagram is just like Facebook, where if you do too much, they're going to block you. They're owned by the same company. So you have to break it up throughout the day. But I literally will like search a random name, like search Sarah or search like University of Montana, or like literally anything, hashtag blue eyes. It doesn't freaking matter. As long as you're not going to a distributor's page and following their followers, you're doing it right. If you're going to other distributors' pages, you're doing it way wrong, because those are their potentials. But as long as you just go to anyone, you could think of a friend from high school. And what I do is I go to their most recent picture that they posted, and then I go to the likers and I follow the girls that liked that picture. And I do it that way because you know those people are active. If you just, like back in the day, we used to just go to their followers and like follow a bunch of people, but some of those accounts might be inactive. So if you go to the likers, you know that those people are active on Instagram because that's the last picture they posted. So don't overthink it. It's like a snowball effect. Someone follows you back, you go to their page, you follow a couple people from their page, and then someone follows you from there, and then you do the same thing, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Following is like the most simple thing you could do on Instagram. It's so simple, but don't push it. I usually say follow like, I mean, and here's the thing. Everyone's like, what are the limits on Instagram? It literally depends on your account. I could probably follow 500 people in 10 minutes. Because I've been consistently following people for the last 4 years. If you're branching into Instagram and you haven't been, you could follow 20 people and Instagram's gonna put the brakes on you and tell you you're blocked. Everyone's account is different, but if you're consistent with it, your limits will grow. So, you know, you could start with like 20 people and then a half hour later, try 20 more, and a half hour later or an hour, whatever. Just go slow in the beginning. If you get blocked, don't push it. Let it take a break. If the next day you go to follow someone, you're still blocked, don't push it. Let it take a break. Because the more you push it, the longer you're going to get blocked for. But once you're consistent with it, your limits will go up. So, just break it up throughout the day. What else? Facebook, I don't ever add from the people you may know or the recommended or whatever, because most of the time they're like probably with it works because like you both mutually follow Mark or something like that. So I don't add from there anymore because I figured that out. So same thing. I just go to someone random and I go to their picture and I add some of the people from there. I used to go from groups, but people in groups are freaking nasty on Facebook. I don't know. Like, I just feel like everyone's so dang grumpy. Like, what the heck? She only added me.
That's a Facebook thing. That's not a group thing. That's a Facebook thing. They're just all like that on Facebook.
Someone added me because she wants to sell me her coffee. How dare her take her out of the French Bulldog group? I'm like, all right, chill out. That's why I like Instagram, because everyone's like, whatever. If they don't like it, they're just going to like unfollow you. There's no like nastiness in being removed. But that's how I add. I just go to someone random and some people add you, some people won't. I think someone asked about unfollowing. I don't have the chat up because, again, attention span of a gnat. But the way that I follow, again, this business is so easy, guys. Don't like overcomplicate it. That's like my biggest thing.
Hold on, pause. I need everybody to hear what you just said. Can you just like repeat it and kind of scream it in case there's any deaf people on here? Because this is the biggest thing that I did wrong for the first year, where I did literally nothing and then went diamond in like 3 months. Okay, so I need you to just like scream it.
I think it's something that everyone does, honestly. And like there's 88 people on here and probably 80 of them do this still. Don't overcomplicate it. This is literally so simple. Like, stop trying to recreate the wheel. We have these things in line here because that's how we got successful. Stop trying to recreate the wheel. It's so easy. This business is so easy. Stop trying to make it hard. Galaxy S10e. Let me get a mute. Who's in charge here? Mute. What was I saying? Overcomplicating things. What was the point?
You were talking about unfollowing.
Oh, thank you. So this is literally how I unfollow, okay? You want to give people time to like follow you back. So I go to my you have your followers and you have your following. I go to my following and then you can sort it from earliest to latest. And it's going to obviously switch it so that the people that you've been following the longest are at the top. And I literally unfollow everyone. Like everyone's different. But it's not like Facebook where you unfollow someone and like you're not friends anymore. Like they can still follow you. Of course, some people do have apps. Like you are going to lose a couple followers because they're going to see you unfollow them and they're going to unfollow you, whatever, so be it. But I know that I would never have an app if it wasn't for this business. I would never know. I don't have an app right now, but I would never know who unfollowed me if I wasn't in this business. So the chances of someone having an app that isn't in this business is pretty slim. You will lose some followers, but that's exactly how I do it. I sort it from earliest to latest, and I literally just go down the list and I just unfollow people. But of course, give them time to follow you back. But my rule of thumb is 1,000. So if your followers are 2,000 and your following gets to 3,000, that's when you should unfollow. I never follow and unfollow in the same day. My husband's like knows everything in the world. He's like the smartest human. And he said, he like looked it up and he said that Instagram doesn't like that. So I never follow and unfollow in the same day. But my rule of thumb is 1,000. So once you get 1,000 over your followers, that's when you should work on unfollowing.
Oh, awesome. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself and I just kept missing the button. I'm like, okay. Okay, so let's talk about what's different now. So how are you running your business now? Because I want to include everybody in this, in this, what is this, a Zoom? In this Zoom, but there are some people on here and like myself who now are full-time stay at home. Like, how do you do this business? Because you know what? It's so crazy. I have found that now since I am home, it is harder for me to work my business than it was when I was working 60 hours a week and driving 14 hours a week, because every free chance I got, I was on my phone. Now I have so much free time, I like find myself stuck in scroll hole on TikTok for 2.5 hours. And I'm like,
Listen,
well,
TikTok is rough. TikTok is harsh. That's why I'm saying, if you are not disciplined, don't do TikTok yet. I think it's really hard. That's why we always say the busiest people are the best at this, because the busiest people know how to manage their time. And when you have all the time in the world, it's really, really hard to discipline yourself. But now, I mean, once you find like this as fun, that's when the game will change. Like I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I have a lot of fun. Like me and Celeste and Rachel, all the local girls, literally if we're here, people definitely think I have like a drinking problem. And it's so funny because I'm like probably drunk like 5 times a year, honestly. But we have a lot of fun. If we get an enrollment and we're all together, like we take a shot. Like we just make it super fun. And this, like I don't know. Once you find like, I don't know, comfort, I guess, with doing this, it becomes easy. Like I do this all day long and it never feels like I'm working. It's definitely hard when you make that transition from working so much to being full-time. It's definitely something that takes a while to get in the swing of it. But if you feel like you're struggling with that, literally make time where you're like, okay, I'm going to sit at my kitchen island and I'm going to do this for 40 minutes or like whatever it is. And then you'll kind of get that schedule, and it takes 21 days to cause a habit. So you just got to do it and do it and do it and do it. And then it becomes nothing. Like this is just a habit to me. And it's just something that I do effortlessly. And once you get to that point, once it's fun and you get on like an enrollment high where like you got an LC and you're like, where's the next one? And you're just excited and pumped up to get the next one. That's when it becomes easy. But if you're looking at this as like a job and like, I don't know, it's taking away from other stuff, I think that becomes more of a self-development issue where you need to kind of realize what you have. Let's be real. Our generation and some other people, we suck. Like we want instant gratification. We want to put in work for one day and we want to make $1 million. And when we don't get it, we get into this little rut. We get down and it's like, as we call it, a funk. And like, we just have to break that habit. And being in a funk is doing nothing for your business. Get self-development, put on The Secret, do whatever you got to do. But once you find comfort in doing this and it's fun, that's when it becomes simple. And if you feel like I'm all about making sacrifices and like, you know, if you went out with your friends 3 times a week, like go out once or don't go at all for the month that you're trying to promote and hit these big bonuses and like sacrifice little things like that. But also give yourself time to have fun. Like if we're here and we're all working for a few hours and we're like becoming cross-eyed because we've been looking at our phones for so long, we'll all put our phones down and we'll turn the song Freaky Friday on and we'll just like dance around and have like a dance party. Like you have to remember to have fun, and that will make it a lot easier. Like Freaky Friday is like our jam. We watch the music video because Chris Brown is hot. So we'll watch the music video and we'll like dance. We all know the whole dance. It's like honestly ridiculous. But you have to make sure you continue to do stuff like that and don't make this so much of like, I don't know, like I'm a workaholic and I still could realize when it's too much and when I need like a break and a dance party and a this and a that. So don't completely turn this into everything. Make sure you're still having fun in your life. And I don't know, and it will become a lot easier. I'm like rambling now, but
okay, well then I'll stop you. Okay, so I want to go into talking about how you train your new distributors, because I just signed a new distributor who is literally just on Instagram. She doesn't even have a Facebook. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea where to start training you. Like Facebook, I got you. Get in my units, do them like it's set. I have no clue how to start training somebody on Instagram. Can you just kind of talk about how you get started with that?
So I actually have my Facebook group where my trainings are. If someone tells me they don't have a Facebook, I'm like, all right, you got to make one. But I just say like, you don't have to use it. You can literally make it like I don't know, Tommy Pickles, and like, I'll just accept you into my group, and like, you don't have to use it, but just like go into there and be, you know, have your notifications for that group so you can see. But like what I have them do for their first post, and this is on Facebook and Instagram, but their first post is always, I actually just changed this and I'm loving it. So their first post is something totally like mysterious. It's like, hey guys, I have exciting news. Stay tuned on my page. You're not going to want to miss this. And everyone in the world will think that they're pregnant, and it makes it really fun. And then their second post is, I joined a health and wellness company. We have so many amazing products. I cannot wait to share them with all of you. Both of those are going to have like pictures of them with their family, whatever. Their third post, I'm like a diehard cleanse post kind of gal. I've had several days where I've literally enrolled 1,000 BV in one day, and it's all because of a cleanse post. And I just love the cleanse post. So I'll have them put up a before and after of the cleanse, and it just says like, it's so basic. It's like, this cleanse is absolutely incredible. You drink 1 bottle before breakfast, 1 bottle before dinner for 2 consecutive days, and wait for amazing results. Cut back on sugary drinks and meals, and drink lots of water, something like that. And then I always say 10 spots available, first come, first serve. So that's always their third post. Their fourth post, I do a now hiring post. And then it's kind of from there, just like everyone's different. But I will tell you, when I first enroll someone, I send them that like right away. Like the second they're like, okay, I've finished and I'm signed up, I say, okay, girl, I want you to know you literally just joined the most incredible business that will completely change your life. But I want you to understand that it does take work, and it does take you working really closely with me in order to make things happen. I don't want you to get discouraged if someone tells you no. I don't want you to quit if you don't sign a bunch of customers right off the bat. This is a business, and it's going to take time to build, and with consistency. Don't give up, and work very closely with me, and you'll get to the top of the company. Are you ready to do this with me? And right from the bat, it's kind of just putting it in their head that like they are going to be working very, very closely with me. And I stress it to people a million times a day. I'm like, if I don't hear from you a million times a day, that's actually more annoying than if you text me a million times a day. I'm like, I want you to blow my phone up, and I promise you that. And I stress that so much, because no matter how much I say it, people still think they're annoying me. So I say it like times 100, and I'm like, you will never annoy me. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want the screenshots. I want the overwhelming text. That's what I want. I teach them Instagram stories. I'm not like, believe me, I'm like simplicity to the max. Again, I struggle with reading. So like, I know that there's other people out there that don't want to read all this stuff. So there's like so many really busy Instagram stories with like all these pictures, and like Cassie makes the most extravagant Instagram stories, and they're beautiful. But I know that people just want to like see results, see a few words, and that's what they're going to love. So don't get wrapped up in like, I need this perfect like Instagram story. I literally, well, if you see like really extravagant stories on my page, I did not make them. I just took them from someone. I just put like a results picture, and I'm like, triple threat is the bomb. Like white background, black font picture. It's like 10 slides. Triple threat is the bomb. Triple threat is the bomb. Triple threat is super simple, because that's what people want to see. They get the results picture and they get the writing, and boom, you're done. Like, don't overcomplicate it. So I teach them how to do that. And honestly, it's just running with them. I'm like, you have to text me every single day and be like, what do I post? What do I post? And then after, so I'm like, I hold their hands for like a week, because if you make it simple for them in the beginning, like the chances of them sticking it out is going to be a lot greater. It sucks. It's a lot of work, but I do it. And then after that week, then when they ask me what to post, I kind of break into the, okay, so what you're going to do from now on is like, go look at my page or other top leaders pages. You can take captions. I always say you have to change some words around. You cannot post the same exact thing, but get an idea. That's how I taught myself, because my enroller quit. And I literally was like, who's successful with this? Okay, I'm going to go to their page and I'm going to mimic exactly what they do. Because if that's what got them to where they want to be, if that's what got them to where I want to be, that's what I'm going to do. And after about a week, I have them do that. And I'm like, listen, you can go find a post and still send it to me and be like, is this good? Like, you don't have to just post it if you're not sure. But it gets them into seeing other leaders and doing stuff like that. And then honestly, there's no other method to my madness. It's just like happens.
Awesome. I love it. I love simple. And I'm totally the same way with I'm totally the same way with stories. If you see an Instagram story, it's because I stole it. But it doesn't matter if it's simple or not. I took it from someone. It's fine. Okay, so tips for signing customers and distributors. So we know how you train them. So what are your tips that you give to people? Is there anything outside of stories, or is that literally just it? I know you message for customers and not distributors. I'm not going to be that basic person and ask you for your script, because I know you've told it in multiple other trainings. And because I believe that scripts don't make or break you, you don't have to share that with us. But I am just curious to know, like, what are some of the tips? Like, what is the single most thing that boosted your enrollment? We'll leave it like that.
Well, when it comes to distributors, I basically life post like every single post that I make on my page. I do throw it honestly depends on what I need at the time. Like if you see product posts on my actual page, you know that I need customers. But very rarely do I do actual product posts, unless it's coffee, because I could take a really cute picture with a coffee cup and like post it for my page is like bright and pretty. But there's no really other products that you'll ever see like on my page. My page is where I talk to my potential distributors. My story is where I talk to my potential customers. So for attracting potential distributors, I can't stress this enough. The people at the top of the company, I truly believe, are at a disadvantage. So if you're on this and you're like somewhat newer, or, you know, your rank of Ruby, Emerald, or lower, like you actually have more of an advantage, because can you guys put in the comments what the dollar amount is that you joined? I said mine was $200 to $300. Okay, 99. Mine was $200 to $300. 599. Here we go. 220. Wow, lit. 299, 100, 300, 99, 69, 500. You guys are getting the point, right? 300. No one joins this business with a goal of making $10,000 a month. Like everyone has that, like pretty much that $500 mark in their head, right? So then here's me on social media, and you know, everyone's like, oh, everyone's flexing on social media. Not everyone is, but then they see me with like my big fancy house and my fancy car, and they're like, that's just not realistic. I can't even put $20 of gas in my car at one time. Like I do $5 here and $5 there whenever I get tips or whatever it is. So share the little things. Like when I post putting gas in my tank, I get so many texts, I get overwhelmed. So share the little things, and just remember, you do not have to be at the top of the company to sign distributors. You have to talk about the little things. Talk about filling up your gas tank and not having the stress. Talk about groceries. One time I posted like the inside of my fridge, and I was just like, Costco haul really got. So I know I can't spend like any less than $500 at Costco every time I go. I don't know what happens, but anyways, like I'm like, Costco did it again. And I just put it on my post, and I'm like, you know, my social media business paid for this, and blah, blah, blah. And like Shay Knox, I had her on her story today. If you guys don't know, she just bought a house, and she went to Home Goods. She was like, Home Goods. She was in her car, and it was so cute. And she's like, Home Goods did it. Home Goods got me. All I got to say is thank you. It works. Like just little things like that will go so much further than you being like, I just put down $5,000 on like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. I'm like a dog. I bought a $5,000 dog because I'm an idiot, but here we are. So whatever. So like you guys get the point. The smaller things will carry so much more than the bigger things. So on your Instagram page, talk about that stuff. On your Instagram story, again, that's where I get pretty much all my customers from. I was a customer before I was a distributor. Let's be real. People want to see the results. I saw a results picture. I'm like, her belly looks just like my belly. Sign me up. And obviously we're not going to put a million results pictures on our page. So that's where your story comes in. And that's where you have the ability to share tons of before and after pictures and not feel like you're making your page spammy. Another thing about Instagram that I get asked a lot, you know how you could do highlights on your Instagram page? If you're going to have an It Works highlight, great, but don't make the title of it It Works. Make the title of it like life or fitness or health or something like that. And then it will draw people more to that, and then they'll see your stories. But if you just make it It Works, again, there's people out there that freaking love it. But then there's people out there that their uncles, cousins, boyfriends, dogs, tree in the backyard told them that It Works products don't work. So they're instantly going to discredit you. When if it says fitness or health and they open one before and after picture of Skinny Brew and they're like, okay, maybe this does work. You just had someone else look at it. So just be real, be vulnerable. Remember that people relate more to struggle than they do to success. So run with your struggles, open up to people, and it will take you so far. So that's my tip with distributors and customers when it comes to being off social media. If you have an iPhone, voice text. Like there's nothing, that's like the number one thing for me. I'm super real. I love people and I love to just like talk. So like one potential distributor texted me the other day, or a potential customer, and she was like, I want to lose 30 pounds because I'm going to Vegas in June or whatever it was. And I'm like, cool, where are we staying? Like I was like, I'm coming to Vegas with you. Tell me what time. And like we just started bonding instantly. That was literally the most simple sale I've ever made in my life. Within like 20 minutes, she was like spending $300 on my site. So just be real and just voice text and be fun and stumble over your words and love it and just be a person, and you'll see so much more.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that. Okay. I always feel so weird. Like, what do I say before the next question? So I'm just going to stop saying thank you and just like the next question. Okay. Post to post, Facebook, Instagram, do you do both? How do you do it? And also, while you're talking about that, can you just throw in there where you find your before and after pictures when you get started and don't have a bunch of customers sending you before and afters?
So I'll talk about that first because I'll forget if not. Pinterest is like my best friend. I find so much on Pinterest. I love Pinterest. There's before and after pictures. There's like stories. There's literally everything on Pinterest. It Works has its own verified Pinterest page. So if you go on Pinterest and you literally just search like It Works, don't put an exclamation or a space or anything. Just search It Works, because there's a few. Like the first one that drops down is their verified page, and they have different boards. So they have boards that like have professional pictures of like keto tea looking all fancy and stuff like that. But then they have a whole results board, and it's all results pictures, literally hundreds of results pictures. So Pinterest is the bomb for that. And then host to post. Okay, so I do both. When it comes to Instagram host to post, this is like everyone's number one question. Instagram host to post, I just have them do Instagram stories. I make the story and I just send them a picture and I'm like, throw this up on your story. Chances of someone actually putting something on their page for you is slim to none. And, you know, it's crazy because I'm the first one to be like, I don't know if you guys do like team giveaways, but like we all pool together some money and do team giveaways. I'm someone who's like, I would never say no to getting a free entry into that. I would have said no to posting something on my actual page. So I just do Instagram stories. Let me see if I can find one quickly. Again, I'm all about the cleanse. So I have them do a cleanse one. If you want customers and distributors, you can literally send them 2 pictures and be like, put both of these up on there. If they're going to put one, they'll put 2. I'll say like, put both of these up on your Instagram story. Let me know when they're up so I can verify and get your name in. And I'll do like a cleanse one, and I'll do now hiring. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, this was another host to post that I did. A story. It's me and Craig's results. And then it says 2020 weight loss goals. This was for January. It said New Year's resolutions. Oh, if you're talking about like weight loss or any of those kind of products, make sure you guys are also incorporating like getting your energy back. because Brittany Hayes taught me this. She's like, I feel like everyone's focusing on weight loss so much. And if you don't, some people might sit there and be like, I need to lose 50 pounds, but they don't really care. But then they'll see your post and it's like, who needs their energy? And she's like, and that will speak to them so much more than losing 50 pounds. So now I, like in my posts, I'm always talking about how I didn't have much energy. So this one says lose weight, gain energy, and feel better. My friend Nicole is looking to help 10 more people gain their confidence back. And I'm all about saying confidence and like not looking for 10 more people to lose weight. Like get your confidence back, get your energy back, that kind of stuff. I don't know where my cleanse. This is just so you have an idea. Naturally, I'm drinking champagne. This is one of my, now hiring stories. Sorry, my ring light's rough. Become an influencer. My friend Nicole is looking to help 5 people make 500 plus a month from social media. Text opportunity to ba-da-da-da-da. You guys get the point. Super simple. Oh, here's my cleanse one. It says cleanse anyone with 2 results pictures. It says more energy, clearer skin, less bloat. Text cleanse to Nicole. Literally so simple. So Instagram is Instagram stories because honestly, I get a lot of interaction from Instagram stories. Facebook, I have them put a post up because we all know that's a lot different than Instagram. I do not have them post a results picture. I just have them put a story up and then I comment the results pictures in the comments. So I'll just do like Thermophyte X or hair, skin, and nails, like who's looking to lose, who would like to lose an average of 31 pounds in 90 days, that kind of thing. And then I'll post results pictures in the comments.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that it's just so simple. Do you send something like that to your new distributors to put into their stories, like a host to post, or do you just send them stories and be like, here, put this in your story?
So I actually have a shared album on like through my phone, through like your Apple Photos.
Yeah.
And when people join, I add them to it right away. So they have access to so many, like this is literally our shared album. Like there's so many stories in here. But that's a good question because after their now hiring post, which is their 4th post, I have them post about host to post. I'm doing a X amount giveaway, comment below, but I literally just take my host to post and plug their phone number into it. Again, holding their hand for the first week. It's a lot of extra work, but it's so worth it. I mean, guys, and I just said, before I started telling you, I just kind of changed how I'm training my new distributors. I literally had a girl join shout out to Nicole if she's on here, join on the 17th of January. And she promoted to Emerald last month. Like
that's amazing. Wow. Congratulations. Everybody shout her out. Congratulate her in the chat because you would want somebody to do that to you and just don't be an asshole. Okay. All right. Okay. So the last question that I can think of before I open the floor for 2 minutes for anybody else is what would you say to somebody who gets started and says, I'm scared or worried about adding people I don't know? Because I get that a lot. Not a lot. I get it occasionally. And I'm working on not being as red. And so I'm just curious, how would you talk to people? How would you get them? I mean, like, what if they're wanting to build a separate page for this? Like, how do you talk to them about that?
I'm sending this to Nicole. I don't know if she's on here.
Thank you, Do. I appreciate that.
So I did that when I first joined. So it's very easy for me to relate to people because I did that. I was like, I just want to make a separate Instagram for this. I don't know. I just cared about what people thought about me. And you have to stop caring what people think about you and just realize like what your goals are. And literally, I don't know, you just have to stop. I made my own separate Instagram and I did not sign anyone for 3 weeks because I had like 4 followers because I made a new Instagram. And then, so the girl that I enrolled with quit like 2 days after I joined. So I literally knew nothing, but I watched a YouTube video because that's how I taught myself everything. And they were like, use your personal account. And I was like, and I went back and forth. And then finally I did it. And I signed like 4 people like in the first day of using my personal account. It's okay to feel like you need to make a new account. Again, I was there. But if there's one thing I could teach you on this whole entire Zoom, it is to not do that. That is literally, like I always say, that's business suicide. You're starting with 0 followers. You're starting with 0 potentials, and you are working this business into your life. You're not working your life around this business. You need to still be posting the way that you were. If you have kids, like, don't stop sharing your kids. Like, if you, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, you have to work this. You are a brand. You are you. And you have to work this into that. And if you make a new Instagram, you are just, first of all, you're way too worried about what other people think. And to be honest, if you're scared about adding new people, I mean this in the nicest way possible. If you're scared about adding new people, this might not be the best thing for you, because that's all you're doing is literally talking to new people every single day, people from around the world. And it's okay. Like, I've always been someone that can like talk to a wall and like nothing really, you know, I could just talk and talk. So if you're like held back from talking to people, then hide behind your phones. But you cannot make a new Instagram and a new Facebook, and you cannot be scared to talk to new people if you want to be at the top. Because let's be real, the people you know are going to run out really quick. Like, you don't know millions of people. You're going to run out of people very, very quickly. Talking to new people is fun. It's exciting. I can't even tell you how many friends I've made from like all around the freaking world that I would never have known, even if they're just customers, even if they're not distributors. Like, people who genuinely have become my friends because of this. You will find new friends, you will find new people, and you will realize that, I don't know where you guys are from, but in Connecticut and like New York and stuff, everyone's grumpy. And like, I thought the whole world was like that. But like, there are still so many nice people out there that you will never know if it wasn't for this business. So don't be scared to add new people. Do not. That should be the last thing you should be scared of. And do not make a new Instagram, because you want to have a brand. Even if you have 100 followers, you have 100 potentials. And when you start that new Instagram, you have 0. And you have 0 posts, and you have 0 credibility, and you have 0 everything. Use your old page. And I am very passionate about this, because I did it and I failed for 3 months or 3 weeks because I didn't listen. And like, what I tell my new people is, I would never steer you in the wrong direction. You joined me because you had faith in me that I could teach you how to be successful. I would never tell you to do something that would hinder that. Like, I would never tell you to do something that wasn't right. So I promise you, just have faith in me, and in a couple months you'll thank me.
Exactly. And the thing is you guys, you control who follows you. You can literally go block people. You can go and remove the follow. That's another good thing about being private, especially when you get started. You literally could just go remove them from following you. Like, it's just so simple. You guys, the truth of the matter is if you're scared about people like seeing pictures of your kids or like knowing something about you, like, they only know what you put on there. So don't put your kids' names if you're worried about that. Don't put where you work or what city you live in. And it's way scarier to take your kids into Walmart. I'm sorry, but it's just true, okay?
Agreed.
I've literally seen people, it's way scarier to go to Walmart than it is to post your children on social media. So I just want to throw that out there. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat real quick, and then we're going to let her go. She's been so generous with her time, and I appreciate it. The only other thing I want if they have questions, is I would really love if there's like just something that comes to your heart that you feel like you need to share, like a getting started tip or a get your ass in gear tip, like just something.
Just, again, I mean, I could say this a million times, but just be you. And just realize that it doesn't take like a perfect looking person or a perfect looking Instagram to like sign a lot of people up. You being you is the number one thing. Like, don't try to be me. Don't try to be anyone else. Don't try to be Lauren. Don't try to be Cassie. Don't try to be Nay. Like, be you, and it will go so far for you. I promise you that. But at the end of the day, you've got to get the excuses out. Like, I was very concerned with what my family thought in the beginning, and everyone else, hence why I made a new Instagram. I was so concerned about what everyone else thought. And when you realize that, like, literally no one else matters but you and your happiness, that's when you will find success in this business. But if you're so worried about what Susie from high school thinks about you, you are never going to go far. You have to stop and you have to get the excuses out the window. If you are literally using your why as your excuse, you could slap yourself right now, because if your kids are your why, don't ever say that your kids are the reason you're being held back. If your job, hating your job and quitting is your why, don't ever use your job as your excuse. Like, you have to stop using your why as your excuse. I think everyone does it in the beginning. It's so easy to make excuses. And my biggest thing, I would tattoo this on my arm if I could, you cannot deposit excuses. So figure out what's more important and just do it. Stop being stupid and making stupid little excuses, and small sacrifices now will pay off so much in the end. So stop.
I love it. I love it. I'm writing that down, and it'll be my fancy font caption for my post on Instagram tomorrow.
That's literally my, in my group, you can't deposit excuses.
I love it. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. You can go ahead and stop recording this now, Marie. Thank you for helping me out. I appreciate you. Marie's my best friend and I love her